Hello, this is Dr. Schrader, and today I'm going to talk about erosion. And what is erosion and why is it important to us? So, there's basically three sources of erosion. Uh, that would be wind erosion. So, especially if you've ever been, for example, on the high plains on a very windy day, you'll see the dust come running up. That's erosion. So the infamous dust storms of the Great Depression era, that's wind erosion. It literally swept the topsoil up and moved it across the state of Oklahoma. So that's wind erosion, and that's very problematic in and of itself. Then you can have erosion from ice. So, as we know, when water freezes, it becomes less dense, it becomes crystalline, it expands. And ice itself, the expansion and contraction of ice, can erode. So, here in Wisconsin, a lot of our lakes that we have in the region are a result of glacier erosion. So, it's literally the glaciers as they moved expanded and retreated, actually eroded away and created these lakes. So, uh, especially in northern climates, ice erosion becomes a real issue. And finally, the one that I think we're most familiar with is water erosion. And water erosion can occur in several different ways. Um, so I'm right here, and I'm going to show you here this sign on why we need to be worried about erosion. Show you the sign behind me. If I can angle my camera without me in it. Pathway closed to Augusta Street due to erosion. So what you're seeing behind me, I can get a better view without me in it. This is a very nice pathway along the shore of Lake Michigan here in Racine. And now it's fenced off, it's closed. And you can see behind me, you can see where there's been some erosion. So basically, what has happened? Let me show you the steepness of this hillside behind me. So behind me, you'll see it's a pretty significant hill behind me. You can see the tops, but it's pretty significant. Yeah, it's a better view. I'll give you a better view here. That's a better view. Look at the significance of this hillside here. So at the top of the hill behind me, um, here, let me use this hand. At the top of this hill that we see back here, the top side of it is the Racine Zoo. So it sits up on top, and it's no more than 200 feet and a good, 40-foot drop, which is a pretty significant hillside. So what will happen is during rain events, this water comes rushing down, and as it makes its way into the lake behind me, there's the lake, and as it rushes down, what will happen is it's literally eroding away. So it's eroding away channels. The erosion is pretty significant through here. I'm gonna sneak in here and hope I don't get in trouble because this is important to see what exactly erosion will do to you. Let me show you what's behind me uh, with some of this erosion. So if you can see behind me, you can kind of see where the water has done its nasty deed. where the water is just literally eroding away everything. So there's even some trees down. I don't know if you can see those behind me or not. Let me see if I can get those trees. But there's actually some trees that are down here due to the erosion problem. So you can see as I'm looking, you see the gap right here. See that gap? That is not a walking path. That's actually where the water has just zoomed on down and eroded this away, where that gap is at. So when this water rushes down, let me see. So you can see here the rock. Let me show you this rock here behind me. That's erosion. See all that sediment and rock? That is the erosion that's coming down from the hillside behind me. So the rock is pretty much covered over the path. Again, you can kind of see right back here. You see that back there? That's again a path where the water is just rushing down this hillside and taking everything in its way. So part of the reason they had to close this down is during heavy rain and erosion, it basically clogged up the path. Let me show you another example behind me here, if we can see that. Uh, there's some erosion in through here. So in most places, we're concerned with hillside erosion because hillside erosion becomes a big, big issue. But for those of us who live along a lake, we also have, and right now the lake is pretty calm, but you can see the waves. Okay, so here's our wave action of the lovely Lake Michigan. So here's Lake Michigan, and trying to get you a flavor here of this beach. And see how smooth that is, and see where all the rock is at on the beach. So we have erosion due to the wave action. And on a nice calm day like today, the waves are just pretty gentle. We don't really have to worry about it. But we get a wind in here. Let's say we get some gale force winds, which we do. You may have wave action of 10 feet, 12 feet. So let me show you behind me, if I can, this tree. See the tree? See that tree? All you see, the roots are exposed. See that? The exposed roots. Why is that? It's from erosion. So this is the wave action coming in and eroding out underneath these trees. Now, right now, the tree is still growing, but at some point in time, as this wave action continues to occur and this erosion continues to occur, there's going to be nothing left to support this tree. And so eventually this tree will end up collapsing. And if you look way in the background, I don't know if you can see it back there or not. You can see, there it is. You can see a tree that looks like it's leaning way back there. See that tree back there? That's leaning. That's leaning because of the erosion that came off that hillside, basically undermined the whole root and foundation system of the tree itself. So imagine that tree is a bridge, and we have erosion coming down, and it actually undercuts the bridge. And this has actually happened. Several decades ago, there was one on US 51 north of Memphis where that's exactly what happened. Is the erosion over time undercut one of the piers and the whole bridge collapsed. So this becomes a real concerning issue when we talk about erosion. So this is why we need to study erosion. So I'll show you here these banks. And you can see where the lake itself has dug away the beach. And beach erosion is a very real concern. It becomes very expensive when you start eroding away your beaches and the rocks that go underneath it. For example, when we have hurricanes along the Atlantic or Gulf Coast, the storm surge. And storm surge is really a measure of erosion. That's that wave action. It can obliterate entire beaches. And if you are a city that's famous for your beaches and relying on the beaches as your income, this becomes a real concern with beach erosion. We don't want beach erosion. So look over here. See that? That's erosion. That's wave erosion. But that's erosion that you see right here along this beach. So here's a perfect example of what can happen. Let me show you this. This down tree. See this down tree here? It eroded away. And you can see where the erosion and water just came cascading. Look behind me. And you can see, as you look behind me here, right in here, see that path? That's where the water came cascading down and eroded this all out. So what do I have? I have a tree that is down. It completely obliterated the foundation and root system of my tree here. So now my tree is down and doesn't exist anymore. So we tend to not take erosion seriously. So here again, look at that, where it is eroded away. And this is why the path is closed. So look over here. Right behind me is the path. So here's my path right here. And you can see this is why the path is closed. Look at that. Literally the erosion from my beautiful lake here. And look at the damage that it's done to this. So we cannot use our path anymore because it's not safe. Look at this. Look, this is just fascinating. This is wave erosion here, but this is fascinating. Look, it just undercut. So here's your asphalt right here. See this? That's the asphalt, right? So I got a couple inches of asphalt. It completely, look at that. The wave action from Lake Michigan when it came in completely undercut this entire asphalt. And so now it's structurally unsafe. No one can use it because it'll collapse. It's in danger of collapse. And you can see, look here. I don't know if you can see the big chunks of asphalt that literally just fell. We got chunks of asphalt everywhere. So this is why erosion becomes such a big issue, because things get damaged, things get destroyed. Now, I can't really do much here about the lake. Yeah, look at this. Pretty awesome, isn't it? Look at that. Just how much and to put it in context, I'm almost 6 foot tall, and this is probably 3 feet higher than I am. So you're talking about eroding away about 10 feet of a hillside. Just complete and total erosion. So looky here at this one. Just phenomenal. Just the power. Here's some down trees. See the down trees back there. And if I do a little panorama, you should be able to see some of these dikes, and they're just trash. There's just concrete sitting up. You can't even get to them anymore. They're just completely gone. And that right there is the power of erosion. This is what erosion does. So I'm gonna get to a panorama here. I'm gonna walk out here on this dike a little bit. So let's show you what I got. See, look at that. I can't really go any further on my dike for pretty obvious reasons because it doesn't exist. And these are not small pieces of concrete here. These are, pretty massive slabs. And this is about as far out as I'm willing to go because I've got about 5 feet of lake between me and the next piece. So I'm just going to stand out on this dike here, and I'm going to give you the view of the power of erosion. This is just how much. Look at that. Look right behind me. That's 10 foot just eroded away. Trees down, everything. So this is why the study of erosion becomes so important, and why every good environmental professional needs to understand erosion. This is why every engineer needs to understand erosion, because, like I said, I can't change my lake here. Nothing I can do. I got a Great Lake. The Lake Michigan, she's going to do what she's going to do. Nothing I can do about that. But I can control it if I'm making a development. And so you'll see similar things occur because of poor development practices, poor stormwater management practices. Maybe I got too much concrete. And so everything is just washing down. And I can control that. I can control the speed of how my stormwater goes down off of my site onto somebody else's. So there are factors that I can do as an engineer, as a developer, as a citizen to help control erosion. I can't control Mother Nature, but I sure can control how I do things on an individual level. So the next part, the next video, I will be showing you exactly what happens just at a house level, and discussing some strategies that can be done to help mitigate erosion. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you at the next video.